This is Breakfast, a segment about how long I fasted before breaking, how much weight I've lost since my last fast, what foods I'm breaking it with, and how many calories I consumed, how long my eating window was, my weight after refeed, how I'm feeling, and what's next. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 18 of Breakfast. 18 episodes in means that I have now done 18 consecutive 90 plus hour back-to-back fasts. That has lasted me now over 2.5 months. It's been a 2.5 month time span that I've been doing these back-to-back 90s. So the last 90-hour fast ended on June 13th, and I weighed in at 137 pounds even. And if we look back at the last 90-hour fast, I weighed in at 137.6 pounds. So a 0.6 pound loss between those two 90-hour fasts, which if you look for the month of June, I have lost probably, I think, about 2.5 pounds, 2.4 to be exact, I think, which actually puts me on par to lose 5 pounds for the month of June, which is what I was trying for. In previous months, I have lost a lot more weight, but now that I'm down to the very last leg of my weight loss journey, the weight just isn't dropping as quickly as it did in the beginning or, even towards the latter end of it. But it isn't surprising for me. I knew this was going to happen. I knew that getting the last, excess fat off was going to be a lot slower than, it was initially, which also kind of, it makes me think about it because I see myself every day and sometimes I don't even notice the weight loss because I've been doing it for over 9 months now. And actually we'll talk about that real quick if we want to talk about how much weight I've lost total since I started extended fasting in September when I weighed in at 220.4. I have now lost 83.4 pounds total in 9 months and however long that is, a day, for the 13th of June. But it's weird because I know I'm losing weight and people tell me all the time, like, you're so skinny, you're way too skinny, but so I guess this is what I'm trying to say. Right now, because I have weighed so much my entire life, sometimes it's hard for me to still see that skinny person. I mean, I see it, but sometimes it's hard for me to accept it. I think there's a difference there. At the same time, I know that I still have some excess fat to lose, but I will be honest, I'm having kind of a hard time figuring out what is loose skin, because most of the extra weight I feel like is on my lower belly, lower stomach area, and I think I'm having a hard time figuring out what's loose skin and what's fat, which is also why if you watched yesterday's video, I was starting to talk about maintenance because I think I really want to start aiming for figuring out how to add muscle into just my physique. And so I have to figure the mental part of this out because you guys have seen, or people who have watched my videos, you know that I have trouble with what I consume and how much I consume. And I think I have to start tweaking that, even if it's just a little bit, to maximize building muscle. Maybe at least I don't have to be completely, anal right now about counting my macros, because I don't want to get to that point where it becomes a chore. Because when it becomes a chore, that is when I fail, and that's the last thing I want to do. But I want to see if I can at least do a little something to get myself into the rhythm of doing the cardio I've been doing, but starting to add a bit of weightlifting in, or at least some kind of body weight since I can't go to a gym, and figure that out. But I'll get into a lot more detail in the future. Let's leave this for Breakfast at this point. I kind of wanted to give you my thoughts of where I was at and what I was thinking. But before I show you what I broke my fast with, here is a disclaimer that I have put out in every episode because I think it's important. Just because I do 90-hour fasts doesn't mean you have to do 90-hour fasts. Just because I refeed at 6,000, 7,000, and you will see in this refeed, I ate more than 7,000 this time. Just because I refeed that heavy doesn't mean that you have to either. I do this because I have trouble, again, controlling how much I eat. And this kind of lifestyle, way of eating when it comes to fasting is a method that I kind of figured out through trial and error, because I initially started off doing intermittent fasting, but I still had trouble keeping the weight off. And again, in yesterday's video, I even talked about how I was doing 48-hour fasts and I was still, after I had lost weight, the 48s weren't working for me anymore because my refeeds are so heavy, which is why I do 90s, which is again why I'm also talking about maybe I need to start looking into the diet. But again, we'll go into that later because I have to figure out the mental part of it before I can actually commit and, do the actual physical part. Because right now, what I'm doing is working and it's continuing to work, and it has been working for 9 months plus. But like I said, I do it because I need to document and be transparent and share a method of fasting that might work for you. But 90 might not be your fasting, time interval. It might be lower. It also depends on how quickly you want to lose the weight. So there's a whole kind of trial and error, methodology that you need to factor into it. And I can help you with that. I'm happy to help you with that. Leave a comment below and we can talk about it, but I will get into a little bit more into that later. But for now, here's what I broke my fast with. For people who are a regular of this series, you know how this is going to go, but I always start off with a salad. This is a Buffalo Ranch salad that I added chicken to. And inside the salad, just to remind people, romaine lettuce, red and Savoy cabbage, broccoli, green onion, carrots, buffalo seasoned crouton crumbles, Monterey Jack cheese, and a Buffalo Ranch dressing, 900 calories. And then I had Brussels sprouts, steamed, salt, pepper, and garlic, 200 calories. And then I had this, it's like a take-home meal from the grocery store. It was chicken carbonara. It was actually pretty good. I didn't have nutritional info, so I just Googled it, and I kind of estimated on the higher end, 850 calories. And then I went to Taco Bell. I had 2 cheesy gordita crunches and a steak quesadilla, just like the last refeed, 1,520 calories. And then I ate a tin of cashews, which I haven't done in a minute. And this was 1,280 calories. And then I had Doritos, which I also haven't had in a while. I had 4 servings of this, which ended up being 600 calories. And then I ate pumpkin pie. I tried to just eat half. I couldn't, so I ate 3/4 of it. And this was a huge amount of calories at 2,100 calories, which totaled out to 7,450 calories. I ate all of this in a 4-hour and 17-minute window. So out of all the filmed segments I've been doing for the episodes of Breakfast, this was the biggest refeed I have done so far. And even though it's a lot, I know I've eaten more than that. I know that might sound surprising to some people, but I think the thing that's more surprising to me at this point is that I can still eat that much, or I'm still hungry at that point at this weight. Because I know that when I was heavier, I could easily eat more than that. And I know I have. And it might not have been in that like 4-ish hour time frame, but throughout the course of the day, I feel like I've probably put in over 10,000, if not more than that, in a day easily. Anyway, again, the biggest refeed I've had so far as the weigh-in the next day, which was June 14th, I weighed in at... Hold on. I know I was like trying to memorize it, but I have it right here. 143.2 pounds, which is a pound gain, which now, if you look back through previous refeed weigh-ins, I have been gaining about the same amount, and then I've been losing it consistently every 90-hour fast after, about half a pound per per fast, per refeed. It's pretty consistent in those terms, but still, again, on a downward trend, which is why I keep doing what I'm doing, because at least it's consistent and I know that it's proven and it's still working. So yeah, the way I think about it right now is I know that I am reaching the tail end of these 90s. In fact, today, as I'm filming this today, I am ending number 19, fast number 19 of a 90 plus hour fast. I was thinking I was going to cut this at 20 and switch from 90s to doing alternate interval fasting, alternate interval hours, meaning that after the 20th 90, I might do a 65 and then a 90 again, or maybe two 65s in a row, and then start documenting that and trying to incorporate building muscle. Because I don't know. Again, like I'm trying to figure the mental part of it. When I feel good enough that, you know, when the mental part of me is good with that, then I can figure out adding the muscle in. I know I'm sitting here and I know that it sounds really distressing for me, and it is in a lot of ways, because I know how my mind thinks and I know that I have failed before. And I know people who watch this have probably been in the same shoes that I've been in, where they fail and they just don't know if they're able to, because a lot of it is mental. And I think until I can get that mental part figured out, that's going to be the struggle there. But I will share all of that with you because I think that's important. And whatever knowledge or info that I can gain doing it through the decades of me just trying to do everything possible to lose weight, I want to share it with you because maybe it might be helpful for you in the future, especially for people like who might not have to wait decades to figure this out. Because if I had figured this out 10, 15, 20 years ago, whatever, I probably would have been in a better place. But, you know, I take today as success, everything I've done, and even like the loose skin or whatever that I have, I look at a lot of that as just part of the growing process into who I am today. And I can't be more thankful. So let me transition, and I'll go back to people who might be watching this. If you're watching it for the first time, or if you've been watching this for a while, please leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Keep me up with your progress. I love hearing from people. I try to reply to everybody as quickly as I can and try to not miss comments, but sometimes I do. Sometimes at this point, sometimes the messages it's kind of a lot and I can't get to everybody, and I do apologize for that. But please, if you want to talk about it, I mean, even in the community itself, other people who comment, I feel like it's a good way to chime in and see how you're doing, share your info with others. And I think for people who are doing what we're doing when it comes to fasting, having somebody to be accountable with, having someone to relate to is very important, which is why I do these videos, because it gives me the accountability that I couldn't give myself before. I mean, I did a lot of this by myself beforehand, but I really put the willpower to do a lot of that. And the only reason I really started this channel was because I started to slip up. I started to slip up at the end of March when coronavirus hit, and I was struggling. And this kind of put me back onto an even keel. So again, feel free to leave comments if you are new also, and you want to, consider subscribing. Please feel free, be a subscriber. Join this community, and let's have a discussion about what's going on with fasting, and let me know how you're doing. And finally, before I go, I want to put it out there that I do have a Patreon. A lot of people have been supporting me, like in an extra way, and I cannot be more thankful or appreciative for that. And people who are messaging me, I mean, even in my Patreon or just in the comments about like the motivation and the inspiration and the encouragement, a lot of that is very humbling. And I really didn't even think that the community would grow to the point where it is now. And I sometimes I sit back and I'm just like, wow, like I can't believe that there are a lot of people who relate or who kind of, are struggling through the same things. And at this point, it makes me realize that it's a good way to build that community and share knowledge and share information that some people might not have. And so for me to be able to do that, I just want to share now as much as I can because I think it's important. Anyway, yeah, so I do have a Patreon. You can check it out and go to patreon.com/finally fasting. There's a certain tier in my Patreon as well that has access to my private Discord, and we talk about fasting in there. Or otherwise, if you just want to support to help offset costs in what I do, that works as well. So with that being said, I know I ramble sometimes, so I'll leave it there. Later tonight, I get to eat. So I'm excited about that. I get to refeed, and this will be number 19 tonight. And I'll have all of that documented for the next episode. And I should have another video in between. I don't know if it'll be another triple FAQ or a new segment, but regardless, something will be out there. So yeah, that's it. So I hate ending these. I should have a catchphrase or a slogan, but I kind of find some of those are a little cheesy. So I'll just bye.